Tonight, remembering the legendary Canadian politician, statesman, and activist Stephen Lewis.
His words, his wit, his deeds just bring out the best of us.
The life he led and the legacy he leaves. From inside an EV factory, Chris Brown sees the beating heart of Canada's trade deal with China.
Look, there's no sugarcoating this. We are in the fight of our lives here.
It is not just the cars, but the manufacturing ecosystem.
And here at Florida's Kennedy Space Center, anticipation is sky high.
We're all fired up to go do this, so Alonzi.
Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen set for the launch of Artemis II.
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Hannah-Mansing at the Kennedy Space Center and Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. Tributes are pouring in for Canadian politician, diplomat, and activist Stephen Lewis. The former Ontario NDP leader has died at the age of 88, just days after his son was elected to lead the federal New Democrats. As his father had, Stephen Lewis dedicated his life to service. He led his party to its first official opposition status in Ontario and later served as Canada's ambassador to the United Nations. In the last several years, he'd been battling cancer and was living in hospice care. Now, we'll get to the many tributes for him in a moment, but first, Catherine Cullen shows us the life and legacy of Stephen Lewis.
I cannot expunge from my mind the heartless indifference, the criminal neglect of the last decade.
Stephen Lewis spent his life using his brilliance, his rage, his determination to fight injustice. One of Canada's great orators, he was a lifelong democratic socialist, son of federal NDP leader David Lewis.
His mother wanted him to be a concert pianist. He wanted to help people.
He joined the Ontario legislature in 1963.
We will oppose the bill throughout the afternoon.
Leading Ontario's NDP through most of the 70s. There was shock in 1984 when progressive conservative Brian Mulroney chose Lewis as ambassador to the United Nations.
Lewis, this is the most remarkable thing. I wonder if you weren't even more surprised about this appointment than we were.
No, I think we share levels of flabbergastedness equally.
Using his pointed powers of persuasion.
How it was possible that things should come to such a pass in a world which regards itself as fundamentally civilized.
He may from time to time slip in an adjective we hadn't foreseen, but that has brought only honor to the country.
Mulroney and Lewis found common purpose battling to end South African apartheid.
No more time for tears. The tears are over. We're just waiting as we sit on top of this volcano for the whole thing to blow up.
Lewis would later call that fight a moment he would forever value. The second great fight of his life.
Around the continent, hundreds of thousands of children don't have access to treatment.
In 2005, he was named UN Special Envoy on AIDS in Africa.
And we will never subdue the gruesome force of AIDS until the rights of women become paramount.
Insisting the world must do more, pained by injustices like the millions orphaned.
You're speaking to a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old child, and this kid is weeping uncontrollably as they try to describe their life.
Again, he called out global powers and, as he did throughout his life, demanded better of all of us.
Can someone, anyone, please explain to me our contemporary balance of values? Thank you.
Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.
Stephen Lewis is being remembered tonight by leaders from across the political spectrum, along with condolences for his son Avi, the newly elected federal NDP leader. As Marina von Stackelberg shows us, he included a tribute to his father just days ago on election night.
At the end of a lifetime of achievements, this was the moment Stephen Lewis held on for, watching his son Avi become leader of Canada's NDP.
And friends, a lot of you know that my dad, Stephen Lewis, is not doing too well. But he is still with us and hanging on to see the next chapter of our movement.
Avi grew up watching his father do big things. His dad still alive to see that legacy continue.
Ever the political fanatic, Dad has demanded daily updates about our organizing delivered to his hospital bed. A veritable IV drip of campaign data.
Stephen Lewis died just 2 days later. Prime Minister Mark Carney called him a pillar of compassionate leadership. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said, "May he rest in peace." New Democrats say he set the example of what a politician could be.
I remember my granny calling me inside. I was outside playing, and she said, "You have to sit and watch this." And there was Stephen Lewis. And he spoke with such passion and such eloquence.
His words, his wit, his deeds just bring out the best of us.
Engaged in politics until the very end, Stephen Lewis, who was Jewish, protested the war in Gaza.
Well, tonight, you'll meet a genuine hero.
Lewis was an early environmentalist. He became close with climate activist David Suzuki, who got to say goodbye to his friend in his dying days.
The last hour we spent together, we just held hands and told each other how much we loved each other. But his legacy is there, and we all should be so grateful for him.
Stephen Lewis was 88. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
All right, we're going to switch gears now and head to Florida, where in less than a day, Ian, the Artemis II rocket could launch.
Thanks, Adrian. As you would expect, there is a tremendous amount of excitement building here now after what has been a long journey to blast off. We are at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and I know on camera it seems kind of far away, but over my shoulder is the Space Launch System, the rocket. If all goes according to plan, it will blast off tomorrow evening to carry 4 astronauts, including a Canadian, around the moon. This mission, part of a bigger plan to one day send humans to Mars. There's a flurry of activity happening here at this point, as you would expect, as the NASA team completes those crucial final steps and checks to get this mission safely off the ground. As you can see, Paul Hunter is here with us tonight, and this is a meticulous operation, Paul.
It is, Ian. Look, there are literally thousands of checks that need to be made before liftoff. And as that clock ticks down, there are another 500 specific go, no-go checks, any one of which, if it's a no-go, can delay the launch. This is a massive undertaking, and they got to get it right. There it is, waiting patiently on Launch Pad 39B at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Countdown clock counting down, as it does, ever closer to history.
People are excited and ready to go on this first chapter on our way back to the moon since the 1970s.
3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston.
Who knew when Apollo 17 astronauts left the moon in '72, it'd be more than half a century before humans returned? Now, 3 Americans and 1 Canadian, London, Ontario's Jeremy Hansen, that's him on the left, are all set to go. Not to land, but to slingshot around the moon and then home. It's NASA's next step toward landing there and even building a permanent moon base this decade. With this mission, Jeremy Hansen will become the first Canadian ever to leave Earth's orbit. But for Hansen, there's another milestone. With this trip, it'll be the first time he's been in space at any level, ever.
The mission will prove the Orion spacecraft.
The 3 Americans traveling with him have all been in orbit before, but not Hansen.
So I won't know how to float and fly, and I'll be a bit clumsy up there. So I know that's going to be hilarious and annoying at the same time.
Hansen jokes about the trip, but he knows that it's a vital step in reigniting the wonder of lunar exploration. That said, the mission's already been twice delayed. One concern now, the weather.
You're still maintaining a 20% chance of a no-go condition during the launch window. So the optimistic side of me says that means 80% chance of go.
Lisa Campbell, president of the Canadian Space Agency, spoke with Hansen as time ticked down.
He's in great shape. He's been waiting for this all his life. He is so ready, and he knows that he's carrying all of the good wishes of Canada.
And what a show it promises to be. As Hansen seemed to put it last week, it's time.
We're all fired up to go do this, so Alonzi.
Alonzi, something to watch tomorrow, Ian, fueling the rocket. That's what went wrong a month ago, causing the latest delay. They think they fixed it. Cross your fingers.
All right. So there are plans in place, of course, if indeed there's another delay.
Yeah, the astronauts underline all the time that's a possibility. There are no guarantees. But if there's a delay, they try again the next day and again the day after that. There's a 6-day window of opportunity, roughly each month, with a 2-hour window each day. It's all about where the moon is relative to the Earth. But if all 6 days go by without a launch, Ian, they have to wait another 4 weeks. The fact is, though, it's looking pretty good for tomorrow.
It certainly is, Paul, and you and I will be covering it throughout the day tomorrow and be back on the National tomorrow night.
Indeed.
Thank you. Give you a sense of the stakes here and the attention. King Charles sending a letter to Jeremy Hansen congratulating him on his role and Canada's role in all of this. When you think of Canadians heading into space, this man likely comes to mind. Chris Hadfield, the first Canadian to command the International Space Station and the first Canadian to walk in space. And he joins us now. He's also the best-selling author. His latest book is called Final Orbit. Chris, you're in Texas tonight. Drawing on your experience as an astronaut, what do you think Jeremy Hansen is doing right now?
Ian, it's such an exciting moment in Jeremy's life and his family's life. But tomorrow, he and his crew are going to do something extremely dangerous that no human being has ever done before, and that's fly that rocket and pilot that spaceship. And so as much as Jeremy's excited for his family and for the history of the event, what Jeremy's mostly focused on now is the details of it, the things he's been getting ready for essentially his whole life, the training that he's had as one of the pilots in the Royal Canadian Air Force, and how many years, 17 years he served as an astronaut. So he's focusing on the details. He's making sure that nothing is going to slip through the cracks that he could have taken care of. And then he'll have the rest of his life to recognize just how exciting and magnificent it was as a human experience.
Yeah, it is magnificent. It is impressive. But you mentioned risk. And when I interviewed Jeremy last year in Houston, I was kind of reluctant to talk about the risks. He brought it up. And he talked about how he had to prepare his family for it. And I wonder, Chris, as an astronaut, how do you assess that, especially the night before?
I talked at length with my family about it before my 3 space flights as well. And my wife's philosophy, her name's Helena, was that you have to allow your partner in life to do the things, if you possibly can, that are really important to them. And if you don't, you are stealing a big part of their joy in life. And if it's something dangerous, and Jeremy's been a fighter pilot, then you just have to make that part of your normal. And some things are worth taking a risk for. Exploring the rest of the universe in person. The two of them, Jeremy and his wife Catherine, have come to terms with that. They recognize that all things in life that are worth doing have risk, and they're willing to face up to that. My wife has been, Jeremy's family is, and the thing that he's doing, no human being except Americans have ever left Earth orbit. And I think it's wonderfully symbolic for Canada that we are the first nation ever to leave Earth orbit after the United States, and doing it cooperatively. So I'm immensely proud of Jeremy and his family for the risk they're taking.
Well, if anybody understands what's going on in his mind tonight and tomorrow, it is you, Chris Hadfield. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Ian. Go Artemis and go Jeremy Hansen. Have a great trip.
And we will have special coverage of the Artemis II launch here on CBC Television and CBC News Network. The first opportunity for launch is Wednesday evening, a little after 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Our coverage tonight continues a little later, but for now, let's send it back to you, Adrian.
Thanks, Ian. Canada's Prime Minister is calling out Israel tonight as its war with Hezbollah intensifies. Mark Carney says Israel's invasion of Lebanon is illegal.
The government of Lebanon has banned Hezbollah. It's taking action. It's trying to take action against Hezbollah and their terrorist activities and their threats to Israel. and that is the purported justification for this invasion. So we condemn it.
Carney's comments come as Israel expands its operations in southern Lebanon. Israel insists its aim is to protect its country from ongoing Hezbollah attacks. Well, Hezbollah is one of Iran's biggest proxies, and Israeli strikes in Lebanon are just part of the wider war. Tonight, the U.S. president suggests he doesn't need a deal with Iran to end the war. Katie Nicholson explains from Washington.
In suburban Beirut, a direct hit after Israeli forces warned people to leave the area. While in Iran, a massive fireball erupted, reportedly after the U.S. bombed a weapons stockade. The buildup of troops and tensions unrelenting, with new reporting a third U.S. aircraft carrier could be headed to the region. Though the Pentagon, in its first briefing in nearly 2 weeks, won't say whether a ground invasion is coming.
Our adversary right now thinks there are 15 different ways we could come at them with boots on the ground. And guess what? There are. So if we needed to, we could execute those options.
Making a deal with Iran, the preferred off-ramp, he said.
And in the meantime, we'll negotiate with bombs.
Mr. President. As for the U.S. president, he says this operation will be over in 2 to 3 weeks. And whatever happens with the Strait of Hormuz and its vital flow of oil, that's not his concern.
We'll be leaving very soon. And if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. We have nothing to do with it.
This on the same day European nations hit by skyrocketing inflation, up 2.5% since the start of this war, were urged to conserve fuel for a potentially long haul of disruption.
Because even if there was a peace tomorrow, there would still be consequences.
And as Gulf states had another frenetic day fending off attacks from Iran, this Kuwaiti oil tanker, one of the unlucky targets off the port of Dubai. The UK now stepping in to top up the Gulf's air defenses. What the US's plans in Iran are may be made more clear Wednesday night when the president is set to address the nation. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
It is now confirmed that King Charles and Queen Camilla will visit Washington at the end of April, despite calls from some for the trip to be called off over Donald Trump's repeated criticisms of the UK government. The palace says the trip is to commemorate the 250th anniversary of American independence. Trump says it will be, quote, terrific. Charles will then travel to Bermuda, his first visit there as king. Back here at home, Alberta is introducing new legislation to remove what it calls politics and ideology from schools.
It'll also require education programming to be neutral, fair, and free from personal bias. It'll also prevent school boards from taking public positions on political, social, or ideological issues that are unrelated to the delivery of education.
The provincial education minister told CBC News that in history and politics classes, all sides should be represented. Among other changes, only the Canadian and Alberta flags could be flown, and O Canada would be sung on a weekly basis. Well, Italy has failed to qualify for the World Cup for the third time in a row, losing to Bosnia in penalties.
Bosnia-Herzegovina will play at the World Cup.
Canada will now play Bosnia in its opening match of the tournament this June.
I think it'll be a lot better first game for them not having to go against Italy.
The excitement and anticipation next. And CBC News gets rare access to an EV factory in China.
We need to learn from innovative partners.
The potential and pushback for Canada's auto sector. We're back in 2. Tiger Woods says he is stepping away from golf to seek treatment and focus on his health after pleading not guilty to driving under the influence. In Florida last week, the pro golfer allegedly clipped a truck and rolled his Land Rover, telling authorities he'd been looking at his phone and fiddling with the radio at the time. A sheriff's report says Woods had pain pills in his pocket and showed signs of impairment. He is set to appear in court April 23rd. Canada's men's national soccer team now knows the opponent for its opening game of the 2026 World Cup. As Thomas Daig tells us, Bosnian bliss meant heartbreak for Toronto's large Italian community set to watch a third straight World Cup without their heroes.
In Toronto's Little Italy, they crowded around, desperate to see the former champions return to soccer's biggest stage.
They might not have found their chemistry.
An Italian perspective tonight.
The Azzurri, as they're known, playing Bosnia in a do-or-die match, with the winners guaranteed to face FIFA World Cup co-host Canada.
Very nervous. It's a nail-biter.
After Italy and Bosnia both failed for 12 years to qualify, this time it came down to a dramatic penalty shootout, with elation in the end for the Bosnians and heartbreak for Italy supporters everywhere.
I'm gonna go home and cry for the rest of the day.
Welcome to the bandwagon, guys. Feel free to join and support Canada.
Canadian fans were glued to the game from coast to coast, with former pro to St. Ricketts watching from Victoria.
I can see that Bosnia is direct, physical, a team that is also disciplined and has like good defensive shape, so they're not going to be easy.
So Canada will first take on Bosnia-Herzegovina here in Toronto on June 12th. The Canadian team will then travel to Vancouver to face Qatar on June 18th, and finally Switzerland June 24th. Before the tournament, though, fans got one last chance to see the Canadians in Toronto, hosting Tunisia for a springtime tune-up game at this soon-to-be World Cup stadium.
I think it'll be a lot better first game from not having to go against Italy.
We all know we're at a point in the sport in the country that's incredibly important. For us, we know how focused we need to be on exactly what it takes to be successful in this tournament.
As the team and country prepare for the world spotlight, the countdown keeps ticking. Thomas Daig, CBC News, Toronto.
Excitement is building for NASA's Artemis II launch.
I'd love to see us go back to the moon. It's been so long.
The final preparations and the Canadian connections.
If we're doing this, imagine what we can do next.
More from the Kennedy Space Center ahead of the historic moon mission.
Plus, an inside look at China's electric vehicle ecosystem.
It's better than charging my battery because it saves more time for me.
What opening up Canada's market means for the auto industry and consumers. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next.
Excitement is building here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida for the historic launch of Artemis II, set to take humans around the moon for the first time in 50 years. 4 people, including Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, will be shot into space to fly around the moon perhaps as soon as Wednesday evening. This is a mission of many firsts. Paul Hunter will lay that out as he shows us how Canada earned its place here through decades of investment and ingenuity. But first, Karen Paul shows us how the general public is getting caught up in the spirit of adventure, anticipating a voyage like no other.
This is Titusville, home to some of the most famous public viewing spots on Florida's Space Coast. We're right across the river from Launch Complex 39B at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. The rocket is about 20 kilometers behind me. All along here, there are already folks camped out, getting here early to save their spots. This grandma brought her grandchildren to see the launch. She'll be here at 4 in the morning to make sure she gets a spot.
I brought the kids to see the Artemis launch because it's historic. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you guys excited?
Yeah, because it's the first woman that's been that far. And I think it'd be cool to watch the rocket launch up in space.
Amazing. Hey, do you think you could ever do something like that?
Yeah.
It's the renewal of the effort to get to the moon, and it's a renewal of NASA, new head, new group of people. It's just exciting times.
NASA officials aren't the only ones with a sharp eye on the weather. Folks here know it's supposed to get worse later in the week, so everyone is hoping this happens in the first launch window. Local officials are expecting almost 500,000 people to descend on this area. Already there are parking restrictions and road closures. People are planning to get here really early to get a spot, and we'll be here looking for Canadian flags. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Titusville, Florida.
Canada's Jeremy Hansen is a highly trained astronaut, so he's worked hard for his seat on Artemis II, but so too has Canada over the course of decades. Paul Hunter recently spent time with Hansen and some of the other Canadians who have brought their country to this moment.
12, 11, 10.
With humans headed back to the moon for the first time in half a century, it is without a doubt a giant leap for everyone, but especially for Canada.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And for London, Ontario's Jeremy Hansen, who'll have a seat on board the flight, now set to become the first Canadian to go beyond Earth's orbit. The first non-American ever to get to the moon, not on it, but around it. And in so doing, will go farther from Earth than anyone has ever been. Alongside 3 U.S. astronauts, Hansen will make Canadian and lunar history.
To the 3 non-Canadians on stage, what's your take on the guy down the end with the maple leaf on his shoulder? And what does he bring to the table? And when you answer, be aware that he's listening.
Well, you only get one question, Paul.
Okay, so
that
this
is
guy...
what he brings.
Yes.
So how did Canada get on board? Don't kid yourself. Canada earned it. Consider some history. From Alouette, the 1962 satellite designed and built in Canada, to, yes, the first legs on the moon. The made in Quebec legs of the lunar module from which Neil Armstrong took his small step in '69. Next came the Canadarm of the Space Shuttle, and then Canadarm2 on the International Space Station. It's been a remarkable run of achievements for Canada. Not to mention the 9 Canadians who spent time in Earth's orbit, and now to the moon, Hansen.
I'm proud to wear the flag on this mission. I'm proud that Canada's here. The United States curated this program that allows us to show up and partner and bring our genius and share it. They are leading space exploration, and they make space for us to show up, but you also have to earn it.
At the Canadian Space Agency outside Montreal, more evidence of how Canada has earned it. This is the simulator used by CSA and NASA astronauts for training to operate the Canadarm2. Canada's know-how on such stuff and the money it's spent on it for decades are key factors in even getting to the table with the Artemis program.
Welcome to the Mobile Servicing System.
But Ken Podwalski, who leads the CSA's lunar exploration program, underlines that's only part of the reason a Canadian is now headed for the moon.
At the end of the day, on Artemis II, you're going to put together the 4 crew members that you think are the absolute best ones to do this job. That is the first criteria. And that's why Jeremy's there.
But if Jeremy Hansen's the present, then inside this building north of Toronto is the future. Headquarters for the space tech company MDA Space. Here, in the shadows of those who designed and built Canadarm1 and 2, they're working on next generation robotics, like Hansen, having eyes on the moon.
So we're trying to advance our ability to launch.
MDA Space has been working alongside NASA in the run-up to the Artemis II mission, as NASA works toward building a permanent base on the moon.
Different visual systems and sensor
But
systems.
as CEO Mike Greenlee underlined for us, Canada's space industry is growing well beyond government-sponsored missions. The future of Canadian space tech, we're told, the place all of this leads, is commercial private enterprise.
We're going to have power stations on orbit that collect solar energy and transmit electricity back down to Earth. The industrialization of space is just beginning, and it's a huge new continent of opportunity for us to engage in, with Canada in a leadership role.
Forgive me, for real?
For real. That's for real.
And in Canada, all of that thinking is spreading fast. See that? It's a prototype of a kind of lunar flatbed cargo truck. the creation of a smaller but robust space company, Canadensis, that is watching Hansen's flight extremely closely. A lunar version of this is competing with two other Canadian proposals to be sent to the moon as a future cargo carrier. Here it is in action on a lunar-esque testing ground. Seeing eye cameras looking out from every angle, it would be operated on the moon from Canada.
Tell me the features.
That's right.
Sell me one of these. Go.
It's an unmanned vehicle supporting the astronaut activities as part of the Artemis program.
Christian Salaberger, president of Canadensis, echoes the view private enterprise really is the future of all things space.
It is happening. I mean, it exists today.
Adding, as Hansen's trip symbolizes, Canada and Canadian companies are well placed for all of it, as humans now step into that future.
Even in terms of mining on the moon, tourism, all those areas, we're at a very, very interesting, exciting time, I think, in human history right now.
Humans do extraordinary things in the moment.
And so, on that, back to Jeremy Hansen, back to the Canadian who, for the moment, is at the center of all of it.
This, for you, is this. I mean, that's where you're going to be, right?
We're going to be right inside here, yeah, right into space.
And when we met up with Hansen not long back at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, it was indeed to talk all things Canada. And there was plenty. One of the first things he described, his training sessions in, yes, Labrador, in Innu territory, where there's an ancient meteorite crater known to be the most geologically moon-like place on Earth. Hansen's training in Labrador, a precursor to future missions when astronauts will again explore the lunar surface. That trip affected Hansen so deeply, indigenous artwork now frames his Artemis mission patch.
The Innu people, this is their sacred territory. They help us while we're there. They are on the critical path to taking humans back to the surface of the moon.
The geology lessons in Labrador echo the geology training for Apollo astronauts half a century ago in the Ontario city of Sudbury.
You can't help but come to a place like Sudbury.
And as well, this survival training for NASA astronauts 25 years ago in Cold Lake, Alberta. Canada, it turns out, is more moon-like than you'd think. Oh, and by the way, alongside Hansen through all of it so far, another Canadian, Calgary's Jenny Gibbons, fully trained as Hansen's backup astronaut for Artemis II, who underlines Hansen's role in the Artemis program means for all things Canada in space, it's all systems go.
Jeremy's presence on this mission and me backing him up hopefully enables so many contributions to space exploration beyond lower Earth orbit. I just think it opens up so many opportunities.
This is your team now, right?
For his moonshot, Hansen credits all who've come before him, the thinkers, the doers, the supporters back home, and of course, those who'll go with him, the Americans on board, who underline, he says, the immeasurable value of international cooperation, especially nowadays. But Hansen himself is clear. In no small way, this is Canada's moment.
I think it's extraordinary that we're the second country in the world to send a human into deep space. And I want to reflect that back on Canadians and just use this to remind them, hey, we do already do extraordinary things. And if we're doing this, imagine what we can do next.
And a reminder, that first launch attempt window is just hours away, Wednesday, April 1st, between 6:24 p.m. and 8:24 p.m. Eastern. If that launch is scrubbed, the next opportunity will be on each of the 5 following evenings. That's it for now from here at the Kennedy Space Center. Let's send it back to Adrian in Toronto.
Thanks, Ian. Coming up, CBC News gets rare access inside one of China's EV manufacturing hubs.
There's no sugarcoating this. We are in the fight of our lives here.
Why there are concerns for Canada's auto sector. Next. Backed by a massive robotic assembly line, Chinese EVs are about to hit Canada's market.
China's strengths in electric vehicle sector are undeniable.
Why there's growing fear it might reshape Canada's domestic auto sector. As Canada's finance minister begins a trade visit to China, recently CBC News got rare access inside one of that country's robotic-powered factories. Chris Brown looks at what the implications might be when Canada welcomes China's EVs.
At this Shanghai service station, the attendants are robots. English teacher Tony Tsao doesn't plug in his EV to charge its battery. A robot trades his empty battery for a full one in the time it takes to grab a coffee.
Almost like 3 minutes. Because you can see that on the screen, right? It shows the process of the battery swap process. I think it's getting shorter and shorter.
With Chinese EV maker NIO, you own the car, but rent the battery.
It's better than charging my battery because it saves more time for me.
Not only is China dominating the global market for electric vehicles, it's developed an entire ecosystem of battery swapping and charging stations to support them.
China's strengths in electric vehicle sector are undeniable. And in order for Canada to build our own competitive EV sector, we need to learn from innovative partners.
After Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to China, Canada opened the door just a bit to Chinese EVs by allowing 49,000 to be sold into Canada's domestic market. It's part of a bigger play allowing Canadian agricultural products to regain access to China. That's not a lot of cars, but the implications of giving Chinese companies such as Geely, BYD, Xiaomi, and Chery a Canadian footprint could be transformational. It could mean confronting the kind of industrial change that North America hasn't seen in decades, and embracing Chinese-designed tech that makes many people feel uneasy. CBC News was given rare access to a Geely factory that makes the Zeekr line in Ningbo, south of Shanghai. Well, Zeekr is a new name to Canadians. Geely also owns Volvo and its electric performance brand Polestar. It means the Chinese giant isn't starting from zero. It already has an in with Canadian consumers. And inside this plant, we saw exactly what the rest of the Canadian auto industry could soon be facing. The formula for China's electric vehicle success is straightforward. Massive automation leads to massive scale, and that scale is now pointed directly at Canada's market. The welding area alone uses 850 robots to do precision work. It's known as a dark factory. The robotics rely on sensors, and there are so few workers that the lights don't even need to be turned on. A rhythmic, unceasing, automated assembly line, like a pulse, produces a finished vehicle every 60 seconds. All of it's accomplished with just 1,600 employees on the floor. It's a level of human-to-robot efficiency that dwarfs North America.
What do our customers care about? They care about whether the vehicle is reliable, whether the body is solid, and whether the whole car is safe. Through automated production, we've greatly enhanced our quality control.
You can see we have babies, we have adults.
Nearby, the company has just opened an enormous safety center.
Geely also have the first R&D and the dummy, which is based on the Asian's body. The shape is a little bit medium.
It was built explicitly so that Chinese cars can be engineered to meet high North American safety standards. By matching Western safety with a price tag often under $35,000, the attraction for Canadian consumers is obvious. But that low price isn't just a bargain. It's an alarm bell for the Canadian auto industry. With Chinese electric vehicles, Canadians aren't just getting extra choices in cars. They're getting a product from an AI-driven ecosystem that's already automated away many of the traditional costs of manufacturing.
Look, there's no sugarcoating this. We are in the fight of our lives here.
In Canada's auto heartland, the fear is of an extinction-level event. Unions warn that letting in Chinese EVs built by a workforce of robots that don't collect pensions or pay taxes will jeopardize tens of thousands of Canadian jobs. Other critics allege some components are made with child or forced labor, concerns the Carney government says it's alert to, but China denies. In China, the industrial disruption caused by extreme automation is already reality. Professor Zhang Xiang says while his country loves its new AI-driven technology, the human cost has been high.
Now, in Chinese universities, internal combustion engine majors are disappearing. The main reason is they simply can't recruit students anymore. Everyone knows fuel-powered cars will gradually be replaced by new energy vehicles. It's also a shock to China, too.
But the disruption headed for Canada isn't just the cars. It's the digital grid backstopping them. Chinese giants like Teld have built a national nervous system, an immense energy web with a Chinese AI brain that moves a nation.
In this sense, EV charging infrastructure and electric vehicles are like two legs walking together. For EVs to develop, charging infrastructure must move forward first. Once the infrastructure is well built, the EV industry will thrive even more. This is a mutually reinforcing, complementary process.
Coming across the border.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has dubbed the Chinese EVs surveillance operations on wheels.
Listening to your, and I'm not making this stuff up, they're going to be listening to your telephone conversation.
But in the boardrooms of China's tech giants, that's dismissed as nonsense. Swin Xiaohong is with the automobile branch of China's Chamber of Commerce.
We don't think the car can send some information to China. We don't need China to need that because we have the regulations from United Nations.
The data will stay in Canada. Won't come back here.
Yes.
For now, the door to Canada for Chinese electric vehicles is only ajar.
I'm actually a huge fan of this kind of technology.
But Tony Tsao was convinced by what he's experienced and believes Canadians will overcome their concerns too. The unending rhythm of China's lightless factories poses a final dilemma for Canada. Is this an innovative partnership to embrace, or a system that will eventually leave our own industrial heartland in the rearview mirror?
Coming up, more on the life and the legacy of a renowned politician, diplomat, and activist.
We began the campaign on issues, and we're ending the campaign on issues.
Stephen Lewis in his own words. Next. Before we go, we'd like to take one last look at the life and the legacy of Stephen Lewis, a force for change from his early days as leader of the Ontario NDP to his fierce advocacy during the famine in Ethiopia and the AIDS crisis. So here is Stephen Lewis in his own words.
Ambassador Stephen Lewis today rewrote the speech the bureaucrats gave him and made it personal.
I cannot remember in my entire adult life scenes of such unendurable human desolation. It was heartbreaking. There is no doubt in my mind that Canadians sat and wept as we did and would wish to respond with compassion. I wander this earth in a state of perpetual rage over the constant recognition of people dying by the millions unnecessarily and tremendous sophisticated capacity, and they haven't got a blessed penny to do it.
In Nairobi's Mukuru slum, Stephen Lewis gets a warm welcome.
You can see how a very small amount of money, a few $1,000s, revitalizes life for a community.
And we're simply tired of buying bills which are half loaves. If you're going to introduce an act which is designed to prevent discrimination, then that's what you do. You don't write in a number of exemptions which will only serve to violate the rights of women in the working force.
We began the campaign on issues, and we're ending the campaign on issues.
The political landscape is wide open for the Democratic left to construct a different idea of what the Canadian culture and what the politics should be and what the issues should be.
And I'm idealistic enough to believe, and they will never quench my own personal determination, that this good country can be a powerful international voice, and that those of you who care can mobilize that voice.
Forever blunt, endlessly eloquent. So many people have a lot to thank him for. We've been getting emails here tonight and throughout the day with people telling stories about little acts of kindness and his big deeds. You'll hear a lot more of those, to be sure, in the days to come. From all of us at The National, thank you for being with us. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.